Welcome to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for diehard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and today I'm here to give you my Prime 2020 Cincinnati Bengals draft quarterback rankings. That's right. What Prime is essentially based off of the history of the Bengals, certain characteristics that go inside this formula that dictate who is most likely to be attracted by the Bengals. So, before we get started, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like this video. I've got a lot of draft videos coming out this week, being that the 2020 NFL draft is this Thursday. Now, this should be, in a sense, a short video, right? Because we all know that Joe Burrow is the #1 pick. Even the Prime metrics say it as well. So when you look at what we have here in Prime, you've got Joe Burrow atop of the board. We're talking about a 4.79 Prime grading. Easily the guy at the top. When you look at it, when you look at the school and the conference, the Bengals have dealt with that conference and that school before at LSU. He meets the perfect body metrics in terms of what they look for. Hand size may be an issue. It's really a minor issue. When you look at certain needs that the Bengals have, you look at the scheme, all of it really translates. So I'm not going to waste your time talking about Joe Burrow, but you will notice that Tua Tagovailoa comes in at the second spot. And one of the things that's interesting is his low marks include the BMI. So he's not what they typically look for in terms of body mass. Outside of that, he really meets all of the metrics as well. When you talk about height, weight, he gets it there. When you talk about school and conference, he's there. When you talk about productivity, he's there. So Tua also comes in somewhat high. The only thing holding him back is that BMI. Next, you have Justin Herbert. A lot of people expected Justin Herbert to probably be a lot higher than 4.20. But the items that really hurt Justin are when it comes to his height and his weight. Even though he is an extremely tall quarterback, extremely heavy, the Bengals have never went there in terms of that direction, in terms of his size. Arm length is okay. Hand size is perfect. It's actually better than Joe Burrow's. But there are certain aspects of Herbert's game that just don't align with the history of the Bengals. We then move on to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I personally like this guy. He is a fit for what the Bengals like to do outside of the 40-yard dash. You know, the Bengals aren't really looking for guys that are super quick. He also doesn't measure up to the BMI. He's somewhat smaller in terms of that BMI number than they usually go for. And when you look at his age as well, that's another thing that kind of is going against him. So I like to see Jalen Hurts in this list. However, he is not at the top of it. And obviously the Bengals would be willing to take several other quarterbacks before Jalen Hurts, unfortunately. Of course, they would probably favor Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, and Justin Herbert just based off of their history. But he is a guy, potentially, if they were to do the whole Chase Young thing, he probably would be your ideal second-round pick. Now, this is where things get interesting. Anthony Gordon is a guy who comes out of a small school, similar or the same school as Gardner Minshew. However, when you look at his scheme, it doesn't really fit with what the Bengals like to do. You also look at some of his productivity. It's not really where you would like it to be, So for me, he is a solid ranking on this list, but obviously far from what the Bengals would be looking for. Then you look at Jordan Love as well, Utah State. That's an interesting one there. He comes in at a 4.33, and I honestly like Jordan Love. I just feel like he has certain things that just are red flags in terms of, his consistency, in terms of what he can do. He had a great year the year before last season where he just really exploded, really took steps, and then we had the exact opposite of that last year. So not really consistent. So consistency is an issue for him there. His hand size is generally larger than what the Bengals have kind of looked for in the past. His age is also somewhat hurting him. So these were key factors of several guys that I wanted to talk about. But as you see, this is Prime. Obviously, Joe Burrow is standing head and shoulders above most of everyone else, as he should. And so expect the Bengals, spoiler alert here, expect the Bengals to draft Joe Burrow. This has been New Stripe City, and as usual, I'll leave you guys with a who day all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.